Okay, whenever you're ready.
When someone goes to the hospital, they're truly at the mercy of the healthcare providers who are taking care of them. Most of the time, these people are dedicated and really care about what they do. Unfortunately, sometimes, especially in this day and age of managed care, patients fall between the cracks, and mistakes are made. Errors occur very, very often when somebody goes to the hospital in particular. There have been some studies recently that have found that up to 50% of all hospital stays will involve at least one medication error. One of the things we also know from several studies is that about 90 to 100,000 people die every year from medical mistakes. That's the equivalent of a jumbo jet crashing into a mountain every single day. It's a much more serious problem than anybody leads the public to believe. Because of that, there are some steps that you can take to help protect yourself if you're going to be in a hospital or if you're going to have some medical procedure done. The most important thing that you can do is to have a patient advocate with you. That doesn't mean that you have to have a doctor or a nurse accompany you, but it does mean having a significant other, a spouse, a friend, and it's best if that person has some medical knowledge. If you have a friend who's a doctor or a nurse or somebody that's involved in medical or health care, have them go with you to the hospital. That makes a difference. Ask questions. Before you get any medication, ask the person who's giving you the medication what the medication is and what it's for and what the dosage is. You'd be surprised at how many mistakes are made, especially in this age where everything is done by computer and online. And quite frankly, with managed care, you have too few people caring for too many patients, and they're overloaded. There's also a problem sometimes in communication among the healthcare providers, the physicians, the nurses, the physician's assistants, the care techs. More and more work and more care is being provided to patients in hospitals by these people known as care techs or care technicians. And they're not nurses, they are just people who have been hired by the hospital to provide assistance in the care. So having somebody else there, having another set of eyes and ears makes a big difference and can greatly improve your chances of having a good outcome after a hospital stay or a procedure, whether it's a surgery or some other kind of procedure in the hospital or an outpatient facility. So ask questions, have somebody looking over the shoulder of the healthcare provider. These are ways that you can help prevent the malpractice from occurring or catch it before it does any harm. It's also very important for you not to sign anything unless you really know what you're signing. They will, if you're going to have a procedure or you're going to have an operation, they're going to require that you sign an informed consent form. And most of the time that's fine if it's a reasonable informed consent. But not if that consent requires you to give up your right to go to court and to have a jury decide if something was done wrong. More and more, we're seeing healthcare providers and hospitals require people to sign forms that would waive their right to justice, that would require them to go into arbitration, waive their right to a jury trial. That's something that you don't want to sign. So these are things that you can do to help prevent malpractice, to help optimize your outcome, and to avoid the problems that often result in injury and death to people.